Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and I'm the co-founder of Inner Summits. Welcome to Pathways to Calm. This is a how-to series on finding different ways to regulate your nervous system. Today we're going to talk about somatic tracking, and here's for me 2 reasons why this is a very, very important tool to learn. One is that somatic tracking is like building a bridge between your cerebral brain and the rest of your body. For those of us who spend a lot of time in our head, or we use that like for our work quite a bit, we're very heady, and a lot of times in our thinking brain, we can oftentimes feel disconnected from our body and our experience in here. It can kind of do its own thing. And so somatic tracking is essentially a way to build a connection between the cerebral brain and the rest of your nervous system. So basically the idea is to go back and forth between naming, labeling something, and feeling something. And that is how you build the bridge. The second reason why this is important is when you are tracking yourself somatically, you're actually kind of observing your experience in this way. You're observing your physiology from a bit of a distance without being hijacked by it. And just by doing that, you're actually able to have more control and more sort of tolerance for it. So let's just try to dive in and try it together. So step 1, you're going to find a seat that's very, very comfortable. You're going to, I always kind of encourage people to have something that has a bit of a back. So your back has a bit of a back, essentially. So you're going to take a deep breath. If you have a hard time with taking deep breath, do a sigh, or something that kind of allows you to exhale or let go of some energy. The next step is closing your eyes. When you close your eyes, the invitation is to kind of like look down. So eyeballs down as if you're looking at your chest or your feet. And that's a little trick that seems to kind of work for a lot of folks, including myself. The only rationale I can kind of give you is when we are thinking about something, we're often looking up, trying to figure it out with our thinking brain. So wherever the eyes go, the attention goes, right? So in somatic tracking, if we're closing our eyes, looking down is a way of almost tricking the brain to bring the attention downward. So close your eyes, eyeballs down, and then take it just a bit of a check-in, a bit of a pulse check, if you want to call it. Kind of just try to notice maybe a sensation. Oftentimes negative sensations are a little bit easier for us to find. So take about 10 seconds, see if you can find any kind of sensation inside your body. So for me right now, as I'm doing this with you, I'm noticing some tension actually in the back of my shoulder. So I'm going to name it. So I'm going to name the sensation, it's tension, and I'm going to name the location. Where is it in my body? It's in the back of my shoulder and right on my traps to the left side and close to my spine. So you really want to get a bit of a GPS, sort of a coordinate of where that tension is. Once you've located it, then you're going to deepen into the sensation. What this could look like is kind of asking yourself, okay, what kind of tension is it? Is it a pulsing tension? Is it like a pulling or an ache? Does it have a temperature? Does it have a rhythm? Just try to get a bit more quality to the how of that sensation. So again, you are going inward, sensing, naming it, going inward, sensing, naming it. And so, you're building that bridge. Once you have sensed it and you got the quality, then the next piece is to just try to sit with it for about 10 seconds. And so, when I was training for this, one of the things that I would do is often kind of once I would get the quality, I would sort of sit back and make fun of myself a little bit and would just say, that's kind of curious. There is a pulsing tension in my shoulder on the right side. And I would just like sit with it for a moment, even if it's 5 seconds or 10 seconds, to just try to feel it a little bit more. Once you've sat with it a bit, the next invitation that I have for you is to just check in and ask the following question. You're trying to directly speak to the tension. And the question is, if my body could tell me what it needs through this tension, what would it need? It sounds like a silly thing to talk to your body, but actually this is about building that bridge, like I said, right? So if my body could speak through this tension, what would it need right now? And so again, you're going to sit with that for about 5 seconds. Sometimes something comes, sometimes nothing comes, and that's okay. That's completely okay. The invitation is to start to communicate with that through language and through sensation. Then what you're going to do, if you get some information, maybe it's like all it needs is a bit of a pull or a stretch, so you can just try to do that. Even if it doesn't make it better, don't worry. So right now for me, I need a little bit of a sort of a bit of a stretch basically to kind of soften that place. And it might just temporarily soften it, it might not. Don't worry so much about that. It's about building the bridge. It's not about suiting something right now. The last step is, once you've done that, is you're going to go back. Again, inside, you're going to go look for another sensation. You're going to close your eyes again, look for another sensation. Okay, now I'm going to pay attention to my knee. What's the sensation there? Is there an ache there? And you're going to do the same cycle again and again. And by doing this time and time and time again, you're actually building your capacity to have the brain-body connection that you want. You're also going to be befriending your nervous system in a different way. And over time, especially in somatic therapy, this can be super helpful in terms of processing stress, strong emotions, and trauma.